What's up, it's your boy Luke. A brand new episode of Family Talk starts now. Hey, what's up, it's your boy Luke, and I'm back with a brand new episode of Family Talk. Struggling and sick in my senior year. So, today I am talking about my senior year of high school and how crazy it was. And usually people's senior years of high school is crazy, but mine had a little, different on it, a little something extra on it because it was a lot going on. So I'm going to try to take you through chronologically some stuff I've talked about before publicly, whether it be on this show or not. So I'm not going to touch on those things too much or at all. But pretty much, I became sick trying to be in two advanced choirs at the same time. And that was my first time trying to do two choirs at all. My freshman year, I was in a beginning choir. But yeah, the reason why I keep saying advanced is because it be having, stuff on it as far as like higher expectations, more practices, more work, more pressure, in my opinion, and standards and, a name that comes with it. So yeah, so in two choirs from August 2016 to May of 2017. So 9 months of being in two choirs. So yeah, I wasn't really sick a lot during high school. Like, the times I get sick, like really bad sick, is usually when I'm stressed out. And that's what happened this time. Like, the times I can think, like freshman year, like I had stuff going on personally. I was sick, but not like seriously sick. I just kept getting like either like viruses or something, or like colds. Sophomore year, I can't remember being like really ill. There'd be like some stuff here and there, but nothing too serious that I can remember. And then junior year, I remember being sick a little bit, but I had two teachers that got fired in the same month. I had somebody pass away in the family. Well, two people passed away, both in winter. And yeah, it was just a lot going on. So yeah, just kind of giving you a glimpse of my high school career as far as me being ill. And then my senior year is when I got the sickest. So I needed to make sure my pressure was okay. My blood pressure was running really high. I didn't have high blood pressure, so we didn't know what was going on. It's not like I just, became thick and tall overnight, so I have been thick, but the stress definitely did not help that. And, finding out I had sleep stuff, and then acid reflux, which I kind of knew I had because I know I was lactose intolerant, but I wasn't officially diagnosed with acid reflux, so I found that out. So yeah, just figuring that out. And I think the biggest thing, was probably, the blood pressure, because it was, really high, because I was stressed, you know what I mean? Like, I had never dealt with that type of stress, I hadn't dealt with that type of stress in a while, I'll say that. So yeah, I think I was just overwhelmed with things going on at home, and then, school. I was, I have it down chronologically. So I was doing my first web series, writing a book, working with my uncle's church. And I'm going to go back to that. I'm skipping something right now. And then in those two choirs, like I said, and then planning to go to college and taking final tests. And it wasn't just because we had finals in December and then finals in May, because you have finals each semester, of course. But then I had ECA testing, which people don't even know what that is. You had to take that and pass that to graduate my high school. And I had to take my ACT. So I took my ECA, my ACT, and my first finals of my senior year, all in December. And did 3 performances in 2 days. Well, no, 3 performances in 24 hours. And was still figuring out health stuff and personal stuff. So yeah, it was just a lot. And then I remember when I was in my high school's male choir, my senior year, I had a competition, which we had been basically rehearsing for 6 months. So that was in February, the same day as my cousin's 10th birthday. So that was, of course, a milestone birthday. So literally get up at 5 something in the morning for showtime at 9 or 10. So I had to get ready, meet the choir at a location, and then get on the bus and then go to the venue or the location where competition was, and then change clothes, and then do final rehearsals, and then actually, perform, and then go to a room to try to watch the playback of the performance. And then, yeah. And then we wasn't done. We were supposed to wait. We had more to do that day, but I asked to leave and then come back, but it worked out. I mean, not worked out, but I left after we performed at first, and I let that group perform in the morning, and then because I'm not sure if I remember correctly, because this was 7 years ago. I think we were supposed to perform, and if we placed, we would perform again later in the day, but we did not place, which was very frustrating, because we rehearsed for 6 months, and I thought we killed it. When we finally watched the playback, we were like, oh, okay, but we was like, well, no, we definitely deserve to place. It was pretty good. To be honest with you, I think it was the aesthetics. I think that some people had like better wardrobe, in my opinion. I mean, I just felt like we didn't look like up to par as far as like the other competitors. So, because I was like, okay, no, we was bringing it. We had energy. We was killing moves, and so I thought we did pretty good. But that's my opinion. Maybe it's probably biased for sure. But yeah, so I went and left to go to my cousin's 10th birthday, did that, and then like towards the end of it, I was about to go back, and they was like, well, I had one of the guys in the choir was like, we didn't play, so everybody's leaving, so you don't have to come back. So that was very disappointing, So yeah, I mean, you rehearse for something for 6 months. It's like, I feel like your goal should be always to be the top and to be the best. You know what I mean? So first place would have been nice, but I think we were all expecting to at least like place. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that was a big expectation, considering how hard we have been rehearsing and the work we have put in. But that didn't happen. So yeah, that was very frustrating. So then, so probably like a month or so later, we in spring now of my senior year, and I'm trying to figure out class ring, and usually the money I would get how I would get the money for a class ring, it didn't end up working out. So then it was a lot of going back and forth, and it was just a whole thing. Finally got my class ring, and like my senior year stuff, like I don't remember what I got at this point. Oh, I think I got like invitation cards to like my graduation party or open house, whatever. So yeah, but yeah, stuff like that, I can't remember. It was, man, yeah, that was 7 years ago. That's crazy to me. Like, that's almost a whole decade. I'm like, Luke, you're not even 25 yet, but it's like, I don't feel old, but I'm like, man, time was like flown. You know what I mean? Like, I started my senior year 8 years ago, and I graduated 7 years ago. So I'm just like, this is wild. You know what I mean? So that's just, yeah. But I'm grateful that I'm here and that I have moved forward and progressed. You know what I mean? Sometimes, if I'm being honest, sometimes I feel like, but dang, this person married, this person relationship, this person have kids. And I know it's not the best to compare yourself, but I mean, I'm human. I have those moments where I'm like, dang, So I'm just like, Luke, you're not 25 yet. You literally still have your whole life in front of you. And I think sometimes we as humans, we set like, I don't want to say, I feel like sometimes we set like these hard expectations, whether they're realistic or not. Like me, I know I was always mature for my age. I always knew I wanted to get married and have kids since I was a kid, and got even, thought about that even more as a teenager. So I always knew that. I was thinking that I was going to be married, around this time, and started to have kids in my later 20s. But yeah, that's not where I am right now. So yeah, that part I'm like, oh, dang. Or like even wanting to be further in my career, like wanting certain stuff, like, and I think now, like, I had like growing up, I didn't understand why artists or like entertainers, they were like, oh yeah, my album's coming out this time, or oh yeah, I'm working on this project, oh yeah, I just signed this, and then you never see the project come to fruition. And I'm like, who dropped the ball? Like, what happened? Like, why didn't they? What happened with the follow through? And now, you know what I mean? Like, they are who they are, and they're on their level. But even like, kind of like some of like the beginning stages of being in entertainment, stuff just don't happen. You know what I mean? You can put your best foot forward, have meetings, phone calls, emails, whole nine, and people may not respond. People, it just might not work out for whatever reason. So, yeah, and I think I did. I talked about this on last volume last year, because a lot of the stuff that I've worked on is definitely like bigger and like on higher levels than where I am now. So it's like, and it's like I've done it, some of the stuff like multiple times. I had multiple conversations and multiple opportunities, and it's just like it didn't work out, whether it was the people or unprofessionalism or contractual issues. So I'm just like, dang, like sometimes I do think like, well, where would I be, if all that had worked out? But I'm like, if anything, those are learning experiences. You can help encourage and relate to other people about them. And yeah, I mean, this is what it is. And then also, even right now, I'm learning personally, like, there's certain stuff that I wanted, to have set up for when I do this and do that. But it just didn't work out that way. Not that I didn't put the work in or plan for it. It just didn't work out that way. But now that I'm finally doing what I was trying to do, I'm finally able to start little by little, step by step. And no, it's not what I imagined, but it almost feels even better when I'm building kind of like brick by brick and, putting in a little bit here and doing a little bit there, and gradually, progressing. It's like, because I feel like you can see your progression or your progress more when it's a little bit at a time. So it honestly, it makes me appreciate, where I am and where I'm going even more, because usually stuff will happen, like, humbly I say, like, stuff has happened, like good stuff has happened, whether it be personally or professionally, and it's either big stuff or it's like a lot of stuff happening, so I don't get to really celebrate all of it or like grasp it all, because there's so much going on, or what's going on is so big. But right now I'm able to kind of just take things step by step gradually, and I'm able to, like, oh man, that's crazy, like I'm really just sitting back and thinking, like, oh, that's wild, like, oh wow. And I know I'm paraphrasing and I'm being general, but some stuff I'm not talking about yet because I want to be in a certain place personally with it. And some stuff I'm like, oh, it might be a future episode of a series or a podcast episode or something. So I don't know. But yeah, so I plan to share what I'm talking about more as far as me building step by step. But definitely something big, definitely something monumental in my personal life. So definitely happy about that. But yeah, so yeah, sometimes I do wish, things would have worked out, whether, professionally and steps towards my career. But I'm like, okay, Luke, you still making steps. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you've learned a lot. Even like when I go and have certain conversations, I think some people on the other side don't know how to like take me, because I am 24, and some of the stuff that I know as far as like, I'll speak contractually, specifically. Like some of the stuff I ask about or some of the stuff that I address, they either get offended or kind of like taken back or like kind of shocked, like, how do you know that almost, kind of vibe or what they say basically. But yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot. So that's the thing, about not being where I want to be professionally yet. I've learned a lot, you know what I mean? So I am grateful for that. But moving along, because you know I love me a good tangent. So yeah, so still talking about springtime, getting my class ring and the difficulties with that. And then probably about a month out from graduating. So, of course, college graduations are earlier than high school graduation. So my brother's first college graduation was the end of April, and his birthday is like at the end of April too. So it was a Friday. I remember this is, well, I can say it now. I was about to say, can I even say this or should I say this? But yeah, so I knew my schedule really well in high school. I remember that, so I had 10 periods total. I think, so it was one that was like 3 and 4, and I think it was another one that was like 5 and 6. So like there were some that were kind of like split up. So I guess you could say I had like 6 periods total. But I knew first period was the male choir, and then second period was either English or Spanish, depending on what semester I was in my senior year. And then third period was the gospel choir, and then fourth period was econ. So, and then, yeah, I was really good my last semester of high school because I had the 2 choirs. I already had taken basically all of my like general courses, so I only had I didn't have that many. Then I had study hall, and then I was I forget what the term is, but basically like a student assistant or something like that from one of my assistant principals. And so yeah, my workload, so yeah, it was still a lot going on, but like I was able to breathe a little bit more, but still finals is finals. But anyway, yeah, so I said I had to say, so I knew my schedule. So I would, if I didn't feel well, I'm like, okay, look, at least try to stick it out half the day, because I'm like, okay, I got these 2 choirs, we got these shows. I'm a president for the gospel choir, so I'm trying to be there as much as I can, even though I missed some because I wasn't feeling well. I'm like, I'm trying to push through and make sure I can stay there. So I said I'd like to say I would usually leave like around like half the day. So that's kind of what I did that day too. So yeah, it was the end of April. Left early on a Friday. Went down to do my college tour, my first college tour alone. And then, so that was like an hour and a half. Then I drove about 2 hours and some change to my brother's college. And this is the thing, like, people can say what they want to say, and I've had people say, oh yeah, you know, you're the planner, like, that's a bad thing. Okay, no, that's a good thing actually, but okay. I had that weekend down to a T. I know I was leaving school early on Friday, doing my college tour later that day, and then driving down to my brother's college, which is basically like on the Kentucky state line, but not going like towards Louisville. Like, I forget what the city, I think it was Lexington, I don't know, but it was USI, so it was Evansville, Indiana. So at the time it was like 3 hours and some change away from Indianapolis. I'm like 2 hours away from my college tour, something like that, 2-ish hours. So yeah, it was a lot of driving that day. Got down there with my brother. He was still trying to figure out what he wanted to wear. I don't know if it was, I know we went shopping for something. So I don't know if it was for what he's going to wear at dinner or his graduation. I know we went to Kohl's. I was trying to think, like, am I going to give them a free? Yeah, but yeah, so we went to Kohl's. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a plug for them. I don't know. But yeah, so I remember having a lot of fun, and then I remember celebrating his birthday at next Saturday earlier in the day. And then I remember getting his cakes. I got him 2 cakes. I got him a cake for his birthday and a cake for his graduation, so I was handling all that. And then I remember being late to the graduation. I was so upset because I'm like, okay, y'all late every day. Well, not every day. Some of my relatives. Y'all late to a lot of stuff. And I'm like, why? Y'all chose today to leave early? Because I'm trying to celebrate his birthday, get the cakes, get dressed myself, figure out. I don't remember if I was handling it. I think I was handling the venue for his graduation dinner. So I was trying to do all of that, and it just, you know, stuff was just, you know, how stuff like that go awry sometimes. And I think that's what was happening. So I end up being later. So I wasn't late. I just didn't arrive when my family arrived. So I was later. So I wasn't in the family photo. So when I got there, it was time for the graduation. So I was upset about that because I'm like, why didn't you know what I mean? Like, why wasn't that planned? Why wasn't that, you know, because I'm like, okay, y'all tell me like an hour or whatever, and I'm trying to get dressed and try to figure out these last minute details. I can't get there when y'all can get there. Like, this should have been discussed before. And this might be telling our business too much, but yeah, I was irritated about that because I'm like, okay, we can't get that moment back. You know what I mean? Like, I was in some pictures with him, but it's just like, yeah. So, It's the reason why I'm not in the family photos. So yeah, that was definitely irritating, especially being the guy out, you know what I mean? The person out, you know, so yeah. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. 7 years ago. So going on with the story. So yeah, we do his graduation dinner. Next day I leave probably like midday. Slept in a little bit because there was a lot going on that weekend and the day before. And then drive back to home in Indianapolis, and then be up the next day for school. And I know what I'm about to say, but I'm like, no, I probably ain't gonna say that. Well, it was really just like some stuff that was going on, like behind the scenes, as far as like performance stuff and like stuff y'all don't even know about or that I've even talked about personally. But I'm like, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be salacious or messy, and plus the person apologized to me, so yeah. But I wasn't even trying to say anything like negative or like, you know, messy about them, just kind of the reality of the situation. Anyway, just something that just ended up happening that threw everything off, you know, with one of the choirs, and I was just like, ugh, you know what I mean, trying to figure that out. So I'll say that, even though that's not a lot, but yeah, so trying to do those final 2 concerts. So I had, so that week, I think that, yeah. So yeah, did his graduation weekend. That Monday we started, well, we didn't start, but it was our last week rehearsal for our final shows for the gospel choir. And then the following week, I think on Wednesday, was the final show for the male choir. So I'm just like, Jesus. So then, and then, oh yeah, that week as well for the male choir was Mother's Day. And then the week after that, I think was like the week before finals. and then it was finals that following week, and then it was graduation that following week, and then it was blast off, which is like a senior party basically, from our high school. There's at the Ritz Carl's or Charles. I don't know if it's Carl. It's Charles. Yeah. Okay. I forgot for a minute. And then we had like a kind of, what do you call it? I don't know. Almost kind of like a lock-in, like what you saw on iCarly. Like they kind of locked. Like yeah, it was kind of something like that, but we weren't technically locked in. But it was just like bouncy houses and like carnival games set up and food. Now the food was on deck, okay? Like the snacks was like, they had pizza, they had Subway, and I don't know, I don't remember what pizza it was, but it was like pizza they ordered. I was like, oh, like okay, y'all got this together. So yeah, that was cool. So yeah, it was just stuff back to back to back to back to back to back. So then yeah, that we in June at this point, because it was like a few days or a week or so after graduation. And then Father's Day, and then my open house, and then my orientation for college, and then and then I was still taping my web series, which thankfully it was basically what I was doing. You know what I mean? So I was just basically like recording as, you know, filming as I was going. And then my birthday, and then packing up, because not only was I moving to college, my family was moving as well. So I had to pack up my whole entire room because I wasn't planning on taking everything to college anyway, you know what I mean? So I had to pack. I had to pack for college, and I had to pack for the move, because they were moving like, I think, yeah, the month after I left for school. So I wasn't going to be back, you know, to help move my stuff or anything. So yeah, stuff was just back to back. 2017 was just busy. So then, yeah, basically being busy pretty much the first half of 2017, and then stuff kind of being a little bit more laid back. I was like, oh, because I'm used to just like, you know what I mean, like just moving and shaking. And I'm like, oh, this is, so sometimes when stuff slows down, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy I can rest, but it kind of like, I have to get used to it again, because I'm like, oh, you know, it's different. So, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, I graduated from high school in spring, almost like exactly 7 years ago, which is and was bananas. And I remember I was so upset. I was irritated with myself because I gave myself so much time to like get ready and to be late just in case something happened, and I can't remember exactly why I was late. Like I remember one reason, but I feel like another reason is because I wasn't looking at the time. But I remember I parked at the wrong place, because we graduated at the state fairgrounds, the Indiana State Fairgrounds, so that's huge. So I parked at the wrong place. Because my brother, we went to we both graduated from the same high school, so he graduated at Indiana State Fairgrounds too. But I was just going off of where I remember we parked at for his graduation, but they switched it. So I had to figure out where exactly they were, and I was late to, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. Basically, oh yeah, graduation rehearsal. But I really didn't miss anything. Like they was just going over like details and stuff like that. But I didn't miss anything. I wasn't like too late. I was probably like 15-ish minutes. You know what I mean? So people were still kind of coming in, but the good majority of this class was there. So I was like, you know, walking in front, like because like. There was probably like one other time that I walked in front of like my whole student body. You know, well not student. Well no. I was thinking like senior body, but I've been in front of my whole school before, like yeah, performances and stuff like that. But as far as like me, you know what I mean? Like I'm walking in front, like it was just, I don't know. Even though I wasn't performing, it was just like, oh wow, because I don't think I ever really saw. Besides one other time my senior class when we did our photo shoot, which I'm gonna go back to. So yeah, I also did 4 senior year photo shoots. So I did my photo shoot for my ID, you know, and I think I can get, yeah. So that was the photo for my school ID and for our yearbook. And then I did both of the photo shoots that we do every year for choir, but I had to do 2 this year. So yeah, we did that. I think that was the same day. So yeah, and it was wardrobe changes. So anyway, and then I did. I forgot about that. So yeah, I said 4. So that's 1. Okay, and then we did the senior year photo shoot. So that was basically us in the gym, the whole student body. We did that photo shoot. I have like a picture of that, but it's not like an official picture. I'm like, I want that picture. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I would like the official picture. And then I did a photo shoot. I forgot about that. I didn't even put that in my notes. Because I'm reading from my notes too. I kind of paraphrase everything. But yeah, I I did my own photo shoot for like, well, it was really a senior year photo shoot, but it ended up being used for like promo for my shows and stuff in the future and stuff like that. But yeah, that was quote unquote my senior year photo shoot / promotional photo shoot. So yeah, and that was my first one on my own, so that was really cool. It was a really cool experience as well. Very light, very fluffy. Yeah, and that was in the spring too. So yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so yeah, I walked in late to graduation rehearsal, which wasn't a big deal. Of course, you know, I didn't get in trouble and I really didn't miss anything. And I was in my head kind of about it because I don't like being late and I don't like missing out on stuff, you know what I mean? But I knew people. I mean, I had known people. A lot of the people I went to high school, or a good amount of people I went to high school with, I went to middle school with. So from like 6th to 12th grade, I knew these people, you know. So I was like, what did I miss? You know what I mean? They was like, oh, you didn't miss nothing. They was just talking basically. And I was like, okay. So yeah, we did graduation rehearsal, which took longer than it really should have, because people wasn't listening. So they wanted us to be very uniformed as far as how we were walking out and the line and stuff like that. I don't know why they were so meticulous about that, but we had to do that walkthrough over and over. And usually when I hear people talk about their senior class, it's usually not as many as mine. We had about 1,000 people. I know it was like around 800, 900 students for our senior body. So yeah, doing a walkthrough multiple times with that many students, yeah. So yeah, that part I was like, yeah, I can forego this because I'm like I'm listening, so I don't understand why I'm the one that, you know what I mean, like why I gotta, you know, redo it again, you know, when they ain't listening. So yeah, but anyway, we did the walkthrough as a student body, and then we had to, and I think also what took so long, for whatever reason, people wasn't, well, yeah, I think that, I can't remember, yeah, because this is 7 years ago, but I know for sure that it was something going on alphabetically, because I think it was some people didn't show up at all, I don't think, to rehearsal, which I was told, they were on us, okay? My senior year, like, I didn't do nothing. Like, I was like, I am going to walk, especially the type of year I had, and I mean, this is literally what I've been waiting my whole life for. So that was like, yeah, if you do senior pranks, you know, you're gonna get expelled, and you're not gonna be able to walk, and and if you don't come to graduation rehearsal, and I think that's why I was in my head too about being like, if you don't come to graduation rehearsal, then you're not gonna be able to walk, and So I was on my P's and Q's, you know, especially the second part of my senior year. So I didn't do no senior pranks. I showed up to graduation rehearsal. So yeah, I was like, nope, I'm good, because I remember for our senior prank, I knew about it, like they were telling me about it, and but I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, no. They was like, you're not gonna do it? No, I'm not gonna risk me not walking. And yeah, they might be bluffing, but I'm not gonna take that chance. So I think they just threw a whole bunch, like, which I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool as far as like a senior. It was kind of safe, I'll say. They just do like their homework and assignments from the whole year on the floor, but we had cameras, so can I? Well, yeah. When I be saying, can I say this? I'm so used to like there's some stuff that I don't talk about publicly because of the nature of it, whether it's personal or legal stuff or contractual stuff. So that's personal and professional. But I mean, at this point, I graduated, and that person don't work there anymore at the school. So, or last time I checked, they have, yeah. So anyway, oh, and yeah, there's multiple of those, so you don't even know who I'm talking about per se. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I remember when I was working as a student helper in the office, I was privy to a lot of information, you know, so like, I was hearing that, like, you know, they had cameras, so they was watching who was doing what, you know what I mean? So they were able to say, okay, yeah, we saw you do this. And I don't know who took the time to do that because, like I said, our senior body was like almost 1,000 students. So they called the students who threw the paper down and called them and made them clean up. And it was a lot because I remember seeing it either on Snapchat or Instagram or something. I remember somebody had posted some pictures of, ooh, that's a lot of paper. I mean, imagine like 1,000 students and all those like pages and papers and stuff like that. Ooh, that's a lot. So yeah, they had to clean all that up. And then there were other pranks they did. I can't remember exactly. I'm laughing because it's like I can see it in my head. Like I hate that I'm blank. It's like I remember the memory, but I don't. But I just know there was stuff they were doing. I think they did like water balloons with something. Well, you know, water balloons with something filled inside. And then I feel like there was something to do with some eggs. Oh, and there was something they were doing. They not doing, but something they did with the toilets, with the bathroom. And I'm just like, okay, y'all, that's. I can't even talk about that, but it was nothing illegal. But it was. I'm like, really, y'all just okay. So, but yeah, that was just like certain students. Like that wasn't like all the seniors. So it was just like certain seniors doing stuff like that. But I think like the majority or the most seniors like did the paper, you know, throwing paper on the ground. Because we have like this 2-sided staircase, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, and then there's kind of like a big balcony, so they just threw their papers off of the balcony. Because I think I would have did that part. If I can go back and not get in trouble or anything, I would have did that part. Because it would have just been liberating. You know, all these papers and all these assignments and homework and tests, you know, and you just get thrown on the floor because, I mean, you already did your finals, you know what I mean? So you don't need it anymore. So yeah, that part, I probably would have did that, you know, but I was like, I'm good. Yeah, and then there was other stuff that I knew about. Because, like, this is the thing. Even when I don't even be asking to know stuff, like, people be telling me stuff. I'm like, okay, why are you telling me? I don't want to know. You know what I mean? Sometimes and then sometimes I just sit there and just listen. Like, oh, okay, that's good to know. You know, even though I might not be saying something or looking your way, or I'm listening, not to be nosy, but just grasping. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on, and you know, like even with choir before I was a president, like the first couple years I was in it, I you know. So it's 2 presidents, so it's 2 co-presidents usually. So, yeah. So when they were like, okay, we're good, you know, we're gonna take a minute, you guys can sit, and then they would talk. I wouldn't say I was ear hustling, but like, you know, they would, you know, the rest of the choir members would just go back to talking, but I would be hearing, you know, the details of what's going on basically, and it wasn't like secret or like, you know, private information. It was just like more details and stuff, and then they would tell us later, and then I'm like, oh, okay. You know, because I already know. So, but that ended up helping me. You know what I mean? Because I had like, kind of like, I guess the 411 a little bit on like, you know, the presidents and stuff like that. I did not know what I was getting myself into when I came on as a president. I did not know it was going to be that. I literally had to sit down with one of them from my first year and was like, okay, you got to walk me through. I need some help because it was more than I thought it was going to. I think they should let presidents be during junior year because senior year is so busy already. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hectic. Junior year, you're still an upperclassman, and you just have prom. You know what I mean? So that's like one event, you know? So I think they should do that because senior year and then doing, you know, your finals, and not just like your semester finals, but like your ACT, your ECA, and all that kind of stuff, and getting ready for college, you know what I mean? So it's just like, and then we had a senior paper. Like, it's just a lot going on, you know, senior year. So, and then like I thought I was like, you know, like doing something, which I think, yeah, being in 2 choirs, you know, that was a lot, especially them both being, yeah. So yeah, but it was somebody who I was in choir with. He was in 2 of the choirs. So yeah, he was in both of the choirs I was in senior year, and then he was in another one, and those are all advanced choirs. We have 3, I don't know how many female choirs we have a lot. I know we have 3 mixed choirs, those are all advanced. And then we have 2 male choirs, one is beginner, one is male. I was in both. I was in the advanced one my senior year. And then, yeah, we have female choirs. So yeah, he was in 2 of the mixed choirs, and then he was in the male choir. So I'm like, I don't know how he's doing that schedule-wise for one, because you got to get your classes. So, I mean, I don't know if he just planned that from the beginning or ahead of time, as far as, because you got to, like, that type of stuff, you got to really plan ahead, because that kind of, I won't say it messed me up, but I was kind of asked, I think, towards like the end of my junior year, to be a part of the male choir. So I had to kind of, you know what I mean? Because it's like my, I forgot what you call that person. Not dean. I don't know why I'm thinking that was dean. My advisor. There we go. My counselor. I said advisor. My advisor, when every year, we had to do classes and stuff like that, sign up for classes. Like, okay, you need to take this semester. Okay, you got this many classes you need. So, like, as I was going through the years, I'm like, okay, I'm out there with this. I got to take this or this, you know what I mean? So, I kind of had an idea of what I needed to take. I'm like, ooh. I had thought about being in the choir, but I didn't think to ask, you know what I mean? Because I was pretty happy with the gospel choir, I feel like things are going... I feel like things were happening, you know what I mean, in a good way. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm cool, So when he was like, hey, I'll be interested in you being in the choir if you, were okay with that. So, yeah, I had to figure out how to make that work schedule-wise. And I think I underestimated, because I think at first I was like, oh, that's going to be a lot. And I was like, oh, no, I can do it. So it was like I over and then I underestimated how being in two choirs is going to be. So, yeah. I feel like, I was about to say, I feel like first semester was harder, but no, second semester was too. But I think first semester is because that was like my first semester getting used to being in two choirs. And that's when like my health stuff started happening. And then that's when like all the thankfully we only had two. So, let's see this. I confused myself. So we had two. So okay, I was in the male choir and the gospel choir. So there were 2 times that first semester to where we were performing on the same nights. So our fall show and our winter show. So for the gospel choir, we had the pep rally, which we sung the national anthem for. That was September. Then October we had the fall concert, which was the first performance for the male choir. And then so that was the same night, same stage, same location. November we had our high school's open house for the gospel choir. And in December we had, of course, the winter concert. Did the gospel choir with that, and the male choir, and I talked about this earlier, this volume. But yeah, and then we did basically like this orchestra performance with like, which is weird. Well, not weird in a bad way, which is different because that was like the orchestra and then all 3 of the mixed choirs. But for whatever reason, he took the gospel choir out and put the male choir in. So either way, I was going to be in it, like I said before. So yeah, so I did that. So yeah, luckily that was all at the same place, same location, 3 performances, 2 in one night, 3 performances, 24 hours though. So then the following semester, I think we had a performance. Yeah, so we had a church performance with the gospel choir. Then February, our biggest performances of both choirs were the same weekend. So Friday for the courthouse with the gospel choir, Saturday competition with the male choir. So, and I had pharyngitis and laryngitis. Laryngitis is you not having a voice because that's your larynx, having an illness with your larynx, which is your voice box. And then pharyngitis is an illness with your pharynx, which is right on there. So, yeah. So there's a lot going on. But, yeah, I didn't anticipate for this episode being this long or talking about this for so long. But, But anyway. So, graduation. Going back to graduation, because that's how I got to all this, yeah. The senior body being big and having to do rehearsal over and over. And then, the alphabet, people trying to... Because it's like... We didn't know, like... There was people I was still meeting that I didn't know or know that well, when we were doing graduation rehearsal. So I was like, okay, who is this person? So I didn't know this. And some of these people, I didn't even know their last name. So we was trying to figure that out. So they had to go through the line and like, okay, you're this person, okay. And then they made this big announcement. Okay, remember the person who's to your left and your right, so you can remember where to sit. You know what I mean? So you can know who to be by, because that and it's so important because they're calling everybody alphabetically. So they're calling such and such to walk across the stage. It has to be in order, because if they call the wrong person, that's gonna look whack. You know what I mean? So that's why they were so precise about it. Um, but yeah, so we did that. We did the graduation rehearsal. I freaking lost my headphones. I was so mad because those are Beat headphones, and even though they weren't the ones that go over your head, they were still like yeah. So I was irritated, definitely irritated about that, because I'm like, yeah, I don't think nobody's gonna be a saint and give those back, and they didn't. Because I remember where I was sitting, even though it wasn't, that is where I was sitting for graduation. They weren't there, so yeah, I was like, yeah, those are gone. So yeah, that was frustrating, but yeah, that's something I don't think I shared that much. I don't know. Anyway, so then do graduation, and yeah, I guess a month later, because my brother's graduation, first college graduation was a month prior. Yeah, I guess my family is kind of notorious for last minute family pictures. They were trying to do family. That it just wasn't coordinated because, of course, I was coming from my parents' house, and then had other family coming from there where they lived. But everything was in Indianapolis. Thankfully, we all live in Indianapolis, but on different sides of town. So, my parents, they wanted to do pictures. We didn't put that in like the schedule because graduation, I want to make sure that I'm good and I'm in a good headspace and I'm ready and I'm not rushing, and I don't want to be late because it's graduation. I want to get there early and there's traffic, so it didn't make sense time-wise to take the pictures. And then I think they wanted to take pictures before I went into the graduation, and I was like, hey, we didn't coordinate that either. So if I ain't had time then at the house, I ain't gonna have time now. So, whoever was there at the graduation dinner after was who was in the picture. So, yeah. So, and I thank my brother for this because he was like, this is your only time graduating from high school. So, I don't want you to be caught up in what other people want and their pictures. We can do pictures at the graduation dinner. Basically, he didn't want me to be frazzled or really stressed out about trying to figure that out and what other people wanted and what people. Not that I wasn't being considerate, but he just wanted me to make sure that, it's for me to be present in this moment, that this is my day, the kind of year I've had, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and just to enjoy it, just to enjoy the ride, and that's what I did. So shout out to him because, yeah, I definitely need that, that kind of like reality check, like, don't lose this moment, like stay in the moment. So yeah, and then he was, I don't know if we were going to do that beforehand or not, but I didn't have to worry about driving the traffic or anything. Like, he drove me to graduation, and then he drove me to our graduation dinner, and then he drove me home, of course. And I remember, I don't think I posted that, but I know I have video because I remember looking at it, some footage of it. I remember, that's probably why, because, yeah, y'all know how comedy shows are, like, a lot of language and stuff that's, yeah. So I remember we were listening to that in his car, on the way back home, and yeah, he was just very happy. He was like, I think I was kind of tired from one. It was a long day. He just always has energy. It can be like 2, 3 in the morning. He's just going to have energy, period, whether he's tired or not. So yeah, I just remember him being like loud and energetic and like, oh, you graduated, like, you know what I mean? Like he's that brother. So yeah. So yeah, I remember that moment, and I remember even going into the bathroom because I think I like changed like my jacket or something, or like something. I changed like a couple things when I got to the graduation dinner, so I can get a little bit more comfortable. I remember we're in the bathroom. I had that too. I don't know why I didn't share that, but I remember him just screaming in my ear like, you graduated! You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that was loud, So yeah, I remember that, and being on my gold bow tie. That's something you'll see in the picture, in the graduation picture, in that moment of my graduation. Yeah, actually, yeah, a little bit of everything. Graduation rehearsal, graduation dinner. That was all on the second season premiere of Recreation Hour, my first web series. So yeah, some footage in there I didn't put in there, but yeah, I don't remember why I didn't. But anyway, so yeah, graduated 7 years ago, and then. Yeah, so it's just a lot going on my senior year. So yeah, I know this was a lot. This was nostalgic for me. I got to reminisce some stuff. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But like majority of stuff, like overall, I feel like, oh, that was good. Thank God I graduated because now I know we're in this era to where people are like, basically, forget a bachelor's, you need a master's to be quote unquote successful, or like. That's the status quo. But I remember for the longest, getting a high school diploma and graduating, that was a big deal because, some people didn't. Some people did get their GED, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But I just remember that was a bigger deal. But now they're gonna be saying the PhD is, the status quo. So yeah, PhD, that's 10 years. So I'm not. Unless I wanted to be a doctor, I'm cool. God bless other people. God bless you. But but yeah. So this was my episode. Even though it was long, but I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Because that's honestly what it was. Me talking to you, even though I can't hear you, and I'm not talking to you as I'm taping this. So it's kind of a little weird for me to be talking to you, and I'm not talking to you at the moment, but I know you're gonna hear it. So yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening to Family Talk and for listening to me, your boy Luke, and for listening to this episode, Struggling and Sick in my senior year.
Hey, it's Brenda Sanders.
What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Family Talk. Be sure to follow us at Family Talk Limited Podcast on Facebook.